Hello everybody, this is Level Up Lani and welcome to the game Our Life, Beginnings and Always. I have played this game once straight for a full 7 hours before, a couple of years ago. The story was so deep, so impactful, at times so emotional that it left a very strong impression of me. It was just as good as reading a very extravagant and very well written literature book. It's been a few years now since I've done this, and I've decided to return to this game after a couple of years. So just in case you guys are new to this game and you've never played it before or you do not know what it is, I'll explain it very briefly. In this game, you start with this young person on the left called Cove, and as you grow up with this person, you make different choices. So he becomes a grown adult, as you can see him on the right. Now what I love about this game is that your choices do have an impact and they do have results. And what I've personally noticed, in my opinion, about this games in general, with a few exceptions, I would say for example Detroit Become Human is the exception, is that a lot of games don't have the impact that shows that your choices can have very deep or very impactful results. This visual novel really is important because if you want to get the best ending, you have to actually choose your choices very, very carefully. If you don't, there is literally no point, or you won't get the most accurate result from the story. So as I played through this game straight for the full 7 hours, I made sure that every choice I made was as authentic as I can. And now playing this game again, I'm also going to be reselecting the choices which I feel is most authentic to me, regardless of the result. The game developers are releasing more new versions of this game, not specifically this story, but of different stories and different characters, which I'll be definitely taking a look at as they release the demos and release the actual games in the future. But for now, we're going to focus again on playing this beautiful story, and we're going to start with a new file. We're going to select no, so we don't feel like we need to do that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to do a very quick character creation, and we're just going to name our character Lani Gem, and we're just going to do a very quick sort of character customization. So give me a few seconds and I'll get back to you. So as you can see here, we've got our very fictional character right here. The only thing I'm going to quickly change is the face shape. Let's go back. Yeah, that one is much better. And here is our very basic character creation of our fictional character that's going to be living out this story, called Lani Gem. So without further ado, I'm going to click done and get started on the story. I hope you guys enjoy the first episode with me. I'm not a professional voice actor by any means, so what I'm mainly going to do is the voice of Lani, maybe of Cove, and the narrator voice. We'll work with it as we go along. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of the year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. That sounds pretty fun. During the summer, your mums didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighbourhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went for Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mum called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stalls. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. So here is our first 3 choices of the game. Now these are different coloured, and I do not exactly remember which colour means good, bad or ugly, but I have always said I'm going to make the most authentic choices in this game regardless of the result we get at the ending of the game. I'll give you guys a moment just to look at all 3 options. read them out. And while we're playing along, you guys can also look at what options you would choose and then think about what option would be most authentic to yourselves. Now for me, I would honestly pick choice 3 because I feel that's most authentic to myself. You were too anxious to say hi back to most of the other residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. They still smiled at you anyway, and that made you feel a little more comfortable. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even real person, or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you have never seen him before. One thing about knowing everybody in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognise really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your mothers called it, or as your mums called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mums had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before, so you got a different coloured options. Each of them will impact the story differently, so this is why I love this visual novel so much, because the choices do have an impact, and it means you'll take time to read the options clear instead of just randomly clicking on a button. So you hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. Definitely not me, because I love to listen very accurately and carefully a lot. They mention that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. That sounds more reasonable. And you remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. I am again going to choose option 3. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. Anyone would be. But you were pretty interested. You wanted to know more about what was going on. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. Let's see which one I would actually pick. I'm going to pick option 2. You slowed down, your eyes remaining fixed on the man. There was a split second where your eyes met, and you knew he was aware that he wasn't alone on the street anymore. Hey! You raised your eyebrows at the shout. Did he want something? Is that why he was here? The man stood up and started to make his way toward you. So we got 3 ways of responding to his approach. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms instead. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. I'm going to go option 2. The man gives a grin of his own back. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Yeah, I live here. That's great. He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favour? Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have... Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I actually agree. I concur to that statement. I have a son. His name is Cove, who's about your age. we're not going to insult the man's son. We're not going to do that. That's just being mean for no good reason. We're going to go with, you thought that was pretty cool, because that sounds like we're just being distracted and we're not paying attention. You thought it was pretty cool. You never met anyone with that name. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Lani Jem, right? I met your mum's earlier and he told me you were 8, just like him, so... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try and be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him.
Do you mind?
But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You eyed the man. You kind of felt sorry for Cove. I feel sorry for him too. Do other kids really get their parents to pay for friendships? I'm going to go with option 3. Had your mum's done that for you and Lizzie? The thought made you frown. What do you say? Want to make a deal? Now the thing is, guys, I have no problems with befriending Cove, but I don't want to do it while getting paid. You know, it just doesn't seem moral or very nice, especially if Cove found out. And, I mean, would you want that to happen to you? Would you want that to happen to your future child or anything like that? So I'm going to select, you didn't want the money. Nah, thank you. Sorry. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? It won't be so bad. Even if it's just for the summer, that'll be enough. That made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into a back pocket and changed the request. I get it, you don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit? No money involved. Yes. So I'm going to pick the option that's most closest to the word yes, which I just said. So I'm going to go, yeah, I want to meet him. Okay, you can do that. I guess. You have to ask my mums. You didn't answer the man. Yeah, I want to meet him. His smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbours today, but... Well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. You lost your son? He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? Got a pink cast and glasses, you can't miss it. Sure thing. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your mums are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now, I better go look too. Can't put everybody else to work while I keep sitting here. No, you cannot, sir. I thought he might come back and... That's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Lani. So much. He jogged down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. Okay, so that bit was like the introduction, and now I would say this is episode 1. So step 1, first sight. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore, and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean, it was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and the sea serpents. You imagined living far beneath the waves. Or you didn't enjoy the beach at all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. I've always loved the ocean, guys. I'm being so honest with you, I've always loved the ocean. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try and relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone. So you glanced around. There was a boy, sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a bit like you found a deer in the wild, though deer didn't have. Are we really going to insult the boy's appearance? So we've got green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge glasses, pink cast, sad frowns. Look, we're just meeting with Cove, and I'm not going to go and insult any part of his appearance because that's not the proper appropriate way to do things. So we're just going to select sad frowns. That's what I would select. But this new boy did. You wondered what could have upset him. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. So we could either go, "Hi, hey Space Cadet," or "Are you lost?" Are you lost? With a start, he jumps to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You obviously caught him off guard. His pink car seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Ah. Eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? Yeah, we're going to be completely honest, guys. I mean, I don't feel like lucky guess will answer the question. I'm all knowing is something a young person would say, but we know that's definitely not true. And we're going to just go with the most honest answer. I met your dad.
Oh.
He doesn't seem happy about it at all. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Well, it's not our hill. We're not going to go yet because that's rude. You can't own a hill. You shook your head. You can't own a hill. Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this still isn't mine. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it travelled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. I love the way they've written this. Very articulate, very detailed. They're not just saying the water, the ocean. They're actually putting emphasis and detail into every aspect of the environment. And I love literature that goes into details like this. why are you here? Sounds kind of abrasive. Or why did your family move? I'm going to go with why did your family move? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they'd never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mum made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mum. So we got, I'm sorry, your dad seems kinda nice. You'll like it here, you just have to get used to it. We're not selecting that option, that sounds harsh. You like it here, you just have to get used to it. It's a bit better than that one in my opinion. Your dad seems kinda nice. I'm gonna go with empathy. I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again after another long crying fit. You felt bad for him. I felt bad for him as well. Being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your mums, but it must be pretty hard. But, from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Lani!
Cove?
Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them that we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. So we got, you can handle it, you have to go, don't worry so much, sorry I have to, it will be okay. We're going to go with the empathy option, at least for me, I'm going to choose the empathy option. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not going to all be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked towards the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. We're not going to call out ourselves because that sounds like betrayal in my opinion. It can come as a betrayal if somebody's vulnerable and then you just do something to out them, so we're not going to select that first option. You waited silently with him, you tried to convince him. I'm going to go with we will wait silently with him and see what happens. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud. You've been found. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you and they rushed over. Both of your mums were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Lani, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbour. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, we were just sitting here on the grass. Why is everybody acting like this is such a big thing? We won't select that one because it is kind of a big thing. We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. We're okay, don't worry. Thank God, you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. Why does that fourth option here remind me of a Bruno Mars song? We're gonna go with yes, I like him. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighbourhood. Good thing Lani knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove.
Bye.
The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighbourhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? So we got, sure, can I show him my stuff? It sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head down. I don't know why we're ducking our head down, because I don't understand that answer exactly. So I'm not going to pick the third option, because I don't know why we're ducking our head down. It sounds like words, which means it sounds like you're not paying attention. So we're going to go with, sure, can I show him my stuff?
Of course.
Then okay. Both of your mums laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mummy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. I would say we're at the end of episode 1, but before we end it here, we're just going to choose the interest and the comfort. Choose your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It can change in later steps. So depending also on how you choose your interest and how you choose your comfort, the story will change as well, which is why I love this game so much. It's not just the options that you select, it's how you choose to feel about the character as the story goes on and how these two people grow up with each other and interact with each other. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to choose fond in the interest section and I'm going to choose relaxed in the comfort section. I think crush might be a little bit too fast, so that's why I'm going with fond. I'm not going to select nervous, and direct might sound a bit brash. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you enjoy this video and you want to see more, as well as more episodes of gameplay, visual novels and my commentary, you can give it a like up. And to see more videos like this, you click on the subscribe button. Have a great day, guys, and see you in the next one.